Take a breath and feel the ground beneath you. Now close your eyes for just a moment. Place your awareness on the space around your body, not your body, the space around it, the invisible field that you are moving through every single day. You see, what we've been taught about reality is incomplete. We've been taught that what we can see, touch, and control defines what's real, that wealth is earned only by effort, struggle, and control. But I want to invite you into a deeper truth, a spiritual truth backed by universal laws. God or source or infinite intelligence is not just watching over your finances. It's embedded in the quantum field of your life, actively orchestrating possibilities beyond your current perception. And here's the thing, the financial doors you're asking for, they already exist. They are not coming. They are here in the unseen, in the field of potential. When you begin to tune your energy not to the vibration of lack or fear, but to the frequency of abundance, you start collapsing those potentialities into your reality. This is not magic. This is spiritual physics. When you live in fear of not having enough, you're broadcasting survival. And survival only replicates more reasons to survive. But when you step into trust, not just blind belief, but embodied trust, the divine begins to move resources in your direction. You become magnetic. You see, you are not meant to chase, you are meant to become. So ask yourself, am I embodying the frequency of the future I desire? Are my thoughts aligned with the truth that God is already working behind the scenes to open doors I don't yet see? Because here's the miracle, you don't need to know where the money will come from. You need to know who you are when it arrives, and who you are is not a beggar, not a victim of circumstances, not someone trapped by the past. You are a creator, co-laboring with the divine. So if you want to see those financial doors open, start showing up as the version of you who's already walked through them. Think like them, feel like them, speak like them, pray like them, and act in faith, not from desperation. The truth is, you're not waiting on money. Money is waiting on you to become the person who can receive it without shrinking. Let me say it plainly, God is not withholding your provision. God is expanding your identity. So today, be still, go within. Break the habit of being who you were, the worried, the cautious, the limited self, and step into the new mind, the new heart, the new frequency, because unseen doors are already swinging open. You don't have to force them. You have to walk in the alignment that opens them effortlessly. So, beloved, live in expectancy, speak in authority, and walk as if it's already done. Because God is unlocking unseen financial doors for you, and all of heaven is saying it's already yours. Financial abundance already exists in the unseen field. This is not metaphor or wishful thinking. It's the reality of how the universe is structured. Everything you could ever need or desire already exists as potential in what scientists call the quantum field, and what spiritual wisdom has always known as the realm of the unseen. In this field, energy exists before it takes form. Thought precedes manifestation. Belief precedes experience. What we perceive as lack in the physical world is not a permanent truth. It is a reflection of past energy, of past states of being. It is old information. When you begin to understand that the external world is simply an echo of your internal state, you gain access to a deeper truth. That the wealth you are seeking is not waiting to be created. It's waiting to be received. It's already there, not in the physical yet, but in the field of possibility. The same way a song exists on a radio frequency before you tune into it, financial breakthrough exists on the frequency of abundance. The unseen field is responsive. It responds to coherence, not chaos. It responds to belief, not desperation. It responds to who you are, not just what you want. This means that financial doors don't open when you strive harder, stress more, or try to manipulate outcomes. They open when your mind, your heart, and your spirit align with the truth that God, infinite intelligence, source, is already holding those possibilities for you. Your role is not to beg for what's already been created. Your role is to attune to it, become the person who matches that future, and allow that unseen abundance to move into form. The key is to recognize that the field responds to your identity, not your urgency. God is not distant. He is actively orchestrating opportunities. The idea of a remote or passive God is a relic of old thinking, born from centuries of separation between the spiritual and the practical. In truth, God is not only aware of your financial needs and desires, but is already engaged in the unseen process of aligning circumstances, people, and timing on your behalf. Divine intelligence is not random or indifferent, it's intentional. Every moment you step into alignment with trust rather than fear, you become more sensitive to the movement of spirit working behind the scenes. We often look at our lives as linear, as if we're walking through time hoping something good will eventually happen. But God exists outside of time. He sees the end from the beginning. What seems like delay or confusion to you is often divine orchestration. Opportunities are being shaped in dimensions you cannot see. Conversations are being had, doors are being prepared, and resources are being aligned with precision. The moment you begin to recognize that the field of your life is not just governed by logic, but by divine coordination, you start participating consciously in the process rather than resisting it. This orchestration doesn't always appear as financial windfalls or dramatic breakthroughs. Often, it shows up as inner nudges, quiet insights, unexpected connections, or ideas that spark something new. But make no mistake, these are not coincidences, they are clues, evidence. Signs of an intelligent, involved presence that desires not just to give you enough, but to lead you into overflow. You are not alone in this process. You are not forgotten or left to figure everything out by yourself. Divine provision is not separate from divine relationship. One flows from the other. Your energy must align with the frequency of abundance. Everything in the universe operates on frequency. Light, sound, thought, emotion, and yes, even money. You are not just a physical body moving through space. You are an electromagnetic field of energy constantly broadcasting signals into the quantum field. Those signals are composed of your dominant thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and expectations. The energy you emit becomes your personal frequency, and that frequency is either attracting or repelling possibilities in the unseen realm. Abundance has a frequency. It feels like gratitude, peace, expectancy, and joy. Lack also has a frequency. It feels like worry, fear, doubt, and resentment. When you dwell emotionally and mentally in the frequency of lack, even if you are praying for abundance, you are sending out a signal that aligns with limitation. The field does not respond to your words alone. It responds to your state of being. You may say, "I trust," but if your body is tense, your mind is racing with fear, and your heart is closed, the signal you are broadcasting contradicts your intention. This is why inner alignment is essential. You must train your body to feel safe in abundance even before it shows up. You must teach your nervous system that overflow is your new normal. You do this by meditating on abundance, visualizing your future with clarity, practicing gratitude for what already is, and releasing the emotional residue of lack. This is not performance, it's transformation. It's shifting your internal atmosphere to reflect the reality you are calling in. The moment your inner world becomes congruent with the future you desire, you begin to collapse those possibilities into form. You're not chasing money, you're becoming a frequency matched to it. Fear and survival block financial flow. The survival state is rooted in the belief that there is not enough time, money, opportunity, support. When you operate from this space, your nervous system shifts into fight, flight, or freeze. Your body tightens, your thinking narrows, and your energy becomes contracted. In this state, you are not creating, you are protecting. And what you protect against, you inevitably reinforce. The very fear that there won't be enough becomes a magnet for experiences that echo that belief. When you're in survival mode, your awareness is glued to the external, watching your bank account, worrying about bills, comparing yourself to others. You become reactive instead of creative. You move from inspiration to desperation. In this frequency, the flow of divine provision can't reach you clearly because your perception is distorted. It's like trying to tune into a high-frequency broadcast with static in your receiver. The signal is there, but you can't hear it clearly. God's abundance flows best through an open, relaxed, and receptive vessel. Fear closes that vessel, fear creates urgency, and urgency collapses your access to divine timing and insight. You start making decisions from anxiety, not intuition. You start chasing quick fixes instead of listening for divine strategy. Financial flow is less about the numbers in your account and more about the energy in your body and the beliefs in your mind. When you release fear, not ignore it, but process and let it go, you make space for clarity, ideas, and opportunities to emerge. Moving out of survival means trusting that you are supported at a level deeper than logic. It means surrendering control without surrendering responsibility. It's the energetic shift from striving to allowing, from contraction to expansion, from panic to peace. Fear may visit, but it cannot be the place you live. Embodied trust activates divine provision. Trust is not merely a thought or an idea. It's a full body experience. It's a state where your mind, emotions, and nervous system align in quiet confidence that what you need is already in motion. Many people say they trust, yet live with anxiety, overthinking, and constant questioning. That's not trust. That's mental hope laced with fear. Embodied trust, on the other hand, is calm even in uncertainty, rooted even when outcomes are invisible. When you trust at this level, you begin to partner with the unseen realm instead of resisting it. You stop trying to control every detail and you begin to act from alignment rather than fear. Provision starts to meet you in places you didn't expect, through people you didn't anticipate, in moments that feel orchestrated rather than forced. This is not about passivity. It's not about waiting around for miracles. It's about being so internally aligned with the knowing that God is for you, that your actions are inspired, not frantic. The body plays a key role in this. When your body is tense, your heart closed, your breath shallow, you are in resistance. But when your breath slows, your shoulders drop, and your heart opens, you become a conduit for divine flow. In this state, you can hear clearly, discern accurately, and move with precision. You are not grabbing at provision. You are meeting it with calm expectation. This level of trust also disrupts the old patterns of unworthiness. It dismantles the belief that you have to earn or prove your value to be provided for. Embodied trust knows that provision is not a reward. It's a reflection of divine design. When you live from this trust, your energy becomes a match for overflow, and what once seemed out of reach begins to move toward you. You become magnetic by becoming, not by chasing. In a world that glorifies hustle and constant pursuit, it's easy to believe that success and financial breakthrough come only through relentless action. But the deeper spiritual truth is that the most powerful shifts happen not when you chase after external outcomes, but when you internally become the version of yourself who naturally attracts them. Chasing is rooted in the belief that what you want is far away, separate, and scarce. Becoming is rooted in the knowing that what you desire is already within reach because you are aligning with it. When you chase, your energy says, I don't have it yet. When you become, your energy says, it's already mine. That energetic shift is not semantics, it's magnetic. The quantum field responds not to your desperation, but to your embodiment. Opportunities, people, resources, and ideas are drawn to your frequency. You don't have to force them to appear. They begin to find you. This doesn't mean you do nothing. It means your actions come from alignment, not from fear or lack. Becoming is about identity. It's about asking yourself, who do I need to be to hold the level of financial abundance I desire? What thoughts does that version of me think? How do they speak? How do they carry themselves? What do they tolerate? What do they release? When you start living from that version of yourself now, you collapse the distance between your present and your future. Magnetism isn't about manipulation. It's about resonance. You draw in what you are in harmony with. So if you want to experience financial expansion, become the person for whom that expansion is natural. This is how divine alignment works. You become the doorway through which abundance walks into your life. Money is waiting on your identity to expand. Most people think financial increase is about working harder, saving more, or finding the right opportunity. But at its core, it's about becoming someone who can hold, manage, and embody greater abundance. The truth is, money does not flow to the version of you who is constantly doubting, shrinking, or clinging to the past. It flows to the version of you who has expanded beyond the limits of fear, shame, and smallness. Your current level of identity is creating your financial reality. That doesn't mean you're to blame. It means you're more powerful than you realize. You have been conditioned to think in certain ways about money, worth, and possibility. Those thoughts became beliefs, and those beliefs became your energetic baseline. If you want to see more in your outer world, you must first become more in your inner world. The container must match the content. Expansion begins with awareness, noticing where you play small, where you avoid risk, where you speak limitation over yourself. Then comes intentional practice, replacing those internal patterns with higher truths. You begin to affirm your worth not because of your productivity, but because of your divine origin. You begin to make decisions based on faith, not fear. You start embodying a mindset that says, I can handle more, instead of I hope I'm not overwhelmed. Money is energy, and it flows where there is clarity, confidence, and capacity. If your identity is still tied to survival, lack, or guilt around wealth, you create invisible barriers to receiving. But when your identity expands, when you stop seeing yourself as someone who only receives just enough and start seeing yourself as someone through whom abundance naturally flows, everything begins to shift. Your outer world starts reflecting the inner transformation. You are a co-creator with divine intelligence. This means you are not passively waiting for life to happen to you, nor are you solely responsible for forcing outcomes. Instead, you are in an active partnership with a higher power that responds to your thoughts, emotions, and intentions. Divine intelligence operates through universal laws, not random chance. It responds to clarity, alignment, and intention. When you understand your role as a co-creator, you stop begging for change and start aligning with it. Being a co-creator requires conscious participation. It means choosing your thoughts deliberately, regulating your emotional state, and taking aligned action based on inner guidance. It means understanding that every word you speak, every belief you hold, and every expectation you carry sends a signal into the field. That signal is matched by the universe, not as a reward or punishment, but as a reflection of your current energetic state. The field mirrors who you are being, not what you are wishing for. This truth empowers you. You no longer wait for someone to rescue you financially or for perfect conditions to emerge. You begin to realize that your creative power is activated in the now. When you speak from faith, when you envision with clarity, when you take action that reflects your future, not your fears. As a co-creator, you are not separate from God's plan. You are a living part of it. You are the vessel through which spiritual ideas take material form. This co-creative relationship also requires surrender, not giving up, but releasing control of how the outcome arrives. Your responsibility is to stay in alignment with truth, abundance, and love. The how belongs to divine intelligence. You are not creating from willpower alone. You are creating through resonance with the infinite. The future is accessed by changing your inner state now. We often think that the future is something distant, something we must wait for or work toward. But the truth is, the future is a reflection of the energy you carry in the present moment. Time, as we understand it, is not linear in the way we have been conditioned to think. Everything that exists in your future exists as a potential right now, and it is your inner state, the quality of your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, that determines which future will unfold. This means that if you want to experience a different future, you must embody the person who already lives in that reality. The version of you who has the financial freedom, the peace, the health, or the success you desire already exists in the quantum field. The difference between where you are and where you want to be is simply the alignment of your thoughts and energy with that future. You don't need to wait for circumstances to change your life. You can change your inner world first, and the outer world will follow. This shift requires intentional practice. It requires you to stop identifying with the past, especially the limitations and struggles, and begin to identify with the future version of you who has already overcome those challenges. You step into the energy of that person now, acting from that future identity, not from the person who is still stuck in old patterns. As you change your energy, you become a magnet for the experiences that match it. The universe aligns itself with your inner world, and what once seemed like distant dreams begins to materialize in your present. By shifting your internal state, you can begin to experience the future you desire today. Unseen doors open effortlessly through alignment, not effort. We've been conditioned to believe that success requires sheer willpower, intense struggle, and a constant push toward an external goal. But the deeper truth is that the most profound opportunities often come not through effort but through alignment. When you align yourself with the energy of the future you desire, the doors to that future begin to open naturally, almost effortlessly. Alignment means being in harmony with your highest potential, with divine intelligence, and with the truth that you are worthy of everything you desire. It's not about trying harder. It's about tuning your thoughts, emotions, and actions to a higher frequency. The universe does not respond to frantic effort or desperate need. It responds to a calm, confident, and unwavering sense of purpose. When you're aligned, you move with the flow of life, not against it. The idea that we must force things into existence often leads to resistance, stress, and frustration. But when you trust the process, when you surrender control over the how, and focus on your own alignment, opportunities begin to appear almost as if by magic. The perfect people show up at the right time. Resources you didn't know you needed appear out of nowhere, and the financial doors you've been hoping for suddenly swing open with ease. This doesn't mean sitting back passively and waiting for things to happen. Alignment requires conscious action, but it's action that flows naturally from a place of peace, confidence, and clarity. It's not about pushing through resistance or fighting for your place. It's about showing up as the person who is already in the space you want to be in. And when you do that, doors open effortlessly, and what once seemed distant becomes your new reality.